A theme that we've been talking about often over the years, and one that certainly becomes highlighted in the middle of this beautiful Chag of Sukkot, Chag Simcha Seinu, is the root of Simcha and the basis of Simcha. And really this Yontif, when you sort of look at its foundational principles and just the very way we observe the Yontif, the situation of where it is as it comes right after the Aseret Yemei Tshuva, the month of Elul, out of its normal sort of assumed position of being in Nisan time, or sometime reflective more of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Here it's put into the month of Elul, where it really doesn't belong, as the Mefarshim talk about. That this concept of Simcha is really fully actualized and realized from the point of view of clarity, from the point of view of understanding why we're here in this world and what this life is all about. It's so contrary to the sort of the typical concept of Simcha. When you calculate and when you think about the fact that Rosh Hashanah, which comes right after a month of Elul of focus, of introspection, of connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Then comes Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, these 10 amazing days of getting clarity, of getting understanding of what this world is about, how our lives are being judged, how we are being reflective in terms of doing tshuva, of coming close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yom Kippur, which purifies us and brings us to the ultimate level of clarity when we sense that the sort of nooses around our neck, and we are turning to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to, in a sense, redeem us from our sins and to purge the chatam in terms of what we've done and the impact that it's left on our neshama. And right then and there, just a few days after, we are given this yontif of Sukkot, Chag Simcha Seinu, to, in a sense, actualize those principles, to actualize the feelings that we have. And at the time when all the Mefarshim talk about the Chag HaOsif, it's the time of the ingathering. It's the time of our materialistic highest level of experience. This is the time when our bank accounts are at the highest levels, where the stock market just had an incredible a bull market, and it's at its highest echelons, where we should be going out shopping and checking, all of the new sales that we can afford this new thing and that new thing, and it should be a time of total celebration of what new things can I bring into my life. What do? We remind ourselves: you want real happiness, you want real joy. Forget the things. Move into a diras haroy. Move into an abode, an environment where you sense the temporal nature of everything that exists. We are living in a temporal edifice, and it needs to be temporary. It can't be very structured or very permanent, because then that's going to allow us to lose focus of what exactly this Simcha Seinu is all about. We focus on the Dalamidim, the Lulav, which is the Lulav, the Esrig, the Aravas Yadasim, that again refocuses, whether it's a refocus on Klal Yisrael getting together, it's refocus on all of our body parts, so to speak, being focused in God's direction. But again, it's all about spirituality. You want Simcha, you get away from what you would imagine Simcha is, and this is the message we have to sort of take now and pound throughout the entire year to ourselves, to our children, that of course we want to be happy. Happiness is a fundamental principle of Jewish life. But what's going to bring us that happiness? Is it going to be things? Is it going to be experiences of going here and going there and skiing in that slopes and doing whatever we do that the rest of the world does, in terms of thinking that this is fun, this is happiness, my bucket list of what I want to experience before I leave this world? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, no, just the opposite. The greatest level of happiness comes when you are connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when you get back to the simple things, you get back to the diras haroy. And what was the ultimate dancing during this time? It was with the mayim. We took water. Water, it's free. They went down to the shloach and they brought they poured water. It wasn't oil, it wasn't wine, it wasn't things you have to prepare and you have to work on and you can judge, better, higher quality, lower quality. It was water. That is the ultimate equalizer in terms of what's in this world. It's all over the place, water. And they bring it to the Mizbeach, they elevate it, they dance with it, and they dance like no one ever saw such simcha. Because I'm doing a mitzvah. I'm taking the simplest thing and I'm connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's what's going to allow me to dance to the highest level of joy. This is what we are reinforcing during this time. Everything that happens around us is about this idea that exactly when we are most prone to materialistic focus, that's exactly when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, no. No, we did not work so hard together. The Anila Dodi V'Dodili, we didn't work this hard together the entire month of Elul. The Aser Semei Tshuva, to now let it go down the wayside. We're going to take this sukkah, we're going to take the Lulav and Esther, we're going to redirect it to spirituality, to the temporal nature of our lives, to recognize we're here for whatever amount of time we're here in the years that we've been given by Kadosh Baruch Hu, and we're going to celebrate the opportunity to connect, the opportunity to be close to Kadosh Baruch Hu, the opportunity to value that closeness, so that there is a even greater level of simcha, the prosdor that leads into the eternal simcha, as the Mesilas Yesharim says, L'saneg al Hashem, to rejoice with HaKadosh Baruch Hu on a permanent level, on an eternal level. That's what it's all about. And what is the culmination of this? Of course, it's the Simchas Torah, the Shmini Atzeres, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, before you leave and you go off into that long winter where maybe things could get a little bit fuzzy and a little bit unclear, you can fall back into some of your bad habits. Koshlai perdaschem, you're leaving me is very, very problematic. It hurts me. Koshlai perdaschem. It doesn't just mean that you're going away. Maybe it means the Preda is talking about the fact that I feel and I sense that if we don't maybe have one more day together, maybe you're going to lose sight of the message, and maybe in a couple of months you'll be distant from me. I don't want that. So that very last day, there's nothing. We don't even need the mitzvos. We don't need the karbanos. We don't the large amount of karbanos. We just need HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as the Medrash tells us, just us and Him, with really nothing else. Just that total intimacy. We don't represent the nations of the world. It's just one day that we can bond with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Chutz La'aretz, it's 2 days. And those days are days of celebration of what of Torah, which again is the ultimate binding force of what the ultimate Simcha is, Simchas Torah. So when you put all these thoughts together, it really reduces it. While there's a lot going on, it's so reduced to the fundamental principle of clarity of why am I in this world? That I believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I know that He's the source of all my joy, that when I trust in Him and I connect to Him, that's going to bring me to Simcha. And that's what Koheles, as we read tomorrow morning, throughout Klal Yisrael, that's what Koheles reminds us of. That let's not get enamored with all the physicality, with the exuberance of youth, with all the things that can get in the way of thinking that we're going to be able to take it with us. We cannot take it with us. Hevel avalim, Hakol Hevel, Koheles tells us. And at the end, what is the ultimate the decider of what's truth is Sof Davar Kol Nishma Esel Kimire. We have to fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and have a relationship with Him. That's what this incredible Yontiv is all about. So while there's a lot going on, if we could just sort of get back to these basics are not easy. Basics are deep, and maybe sometimes it's easier to sort of be enamored with a lot of other things and look at who stayed up the longest, who Simchas Beis HaShoeva had the most peace band, and all these kind of things where maybe again even within the Simcha we can get sort of distracted into frivolity. Let's get back to the ultimate basics, which is not easy. It brings us to the greatest level of joy. It's the most important aspect of life. It's really the key that will take us through not just this winter, but all the winters of our lives, all the difficult situations, all the challenges. It'll bring us that joy, that inner peace that we need. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, and the Mesilas Yesharim writes so clearly, when we have that trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there's no room for complaint. There's no room for any type of unhappiness. No matter what a Jew is going through, that connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the source of strength that can get them through any type of challenge. But Hashem, we can take this sukkah and maximize it to its fullest potential. If we can go into that Shmini Atzeres and really realize, as we put the Lulav and Esther away, it's just one day, just me and you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's intimacy, closeness, focus on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Take the special message of this time and really make it personal. You don't need anything else to make it happen. And of course, the ultimate dancing of Simchas Torah, which is the third of the three-pronged relationship, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Klal Yisrael, and Torah. This is the key to our success, the key to our happiness, the key that will give us a life of connection, and Be'ez Hashem, allow all of Klal Yisrael to have that joy as we are looking forward to the Bias HaMashiach Mehev Yameinu. Let's have a beautiful Yontif, and Be'ez Hashem, let's bring the Simcha into the lives of not only ourselves, but Be'ez Hashem, all the people around us. Have a good Shabbos.